We have multiple huge Toronto Blue Jays updates to go over today as a brand new report has dropped, revealing some big information as it pertains to multiple key injuries, including one particular player that has fans fired up. We're going to break that down and discuss what it means going forward as well. Let's break down some other updates ahead of what's going to be a crazy day of baseball as the Jays are taking on the Yankees in a doubleheader. So stay tuned for all that in this episode, folks. Before we get into it, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, it's the place to be for daily Jays content. Your guys' support has been unbelievable. If you want to help us towards our big goal of 17K subscribers, make sure to smash that subscribe button. Thank you guys once again for your continued support on our road to 17,000 subs. Ladies and gentlemen, a ton to go over today. Now let's dive right into it. I'm not going to waste any more time now. Yesterday, the Jays were, of course, supposed to play the Yankees in the afternoon. That ultimately didn't happen. It got rained out. And then down in AAA, Dalton Verso was not in the lineup. You can see this here from Keegan Matheson, and he reported that no Dalton Verso in the AAA lineup today in Buffalo. With 2 games tomorrow, I think the Blue Jays should have Verso on the road to New York today, which was yesterday, but we'll see. Tuesday debut at the latest. So, ladies and gentlemen, it seems like it is finally going to be happening. Now, whether it's for this afternoon's game, of course, it's very early in the morning, so at the time of recording at least, it's either going to be later today we'll hear about it. He's going to be available for one of the 2 games, or at the very least Tuesday, because of course they have an off day Monday. But regardless, it is happening, folks. We are going to see Dalton Verso, and his next game that he plays is going to be in a Toronto Blue Jays uniform. He didn't play yesterday for AAA, and barring anything changing, unless he plays today for AAA, there's a good chance we see Dalton Verso with the Jays in this afternoon's double header. And at this juncture, there hasn't been a new report as it pertains to him coming up, because then they're going to have to make some moves and some subsequent moves to send somebody down, DFA somebody, and that's going to be a big question mark is regarding Nathan Lucas. Is it going to be Alan Roden, who struggled as of late? All these different things. And Lucas has been getting most of the playing time, but his value is really in center field, and Dalton Verso is going to be coming back and getting everyday playing time. So that's going to be a very big deal. But again, having Dalton Verso back, I cannot understate the importance of Dalton Verso. And you think back to just a couple days ago on April 25th, given the weather tomorrow, it still sounds likely that Verso rejoins the Jays for Tuesday's game, but that's still to be determined on a potential Sunday return. So there's a bunch of different reports that, he might be coming back Sunday. It kind of depends. And with the rain delay, it almost made things a little bit more, vital to have him come back, but not only a little bit more, vital and needed. He was removed, or he wasn't in the lineup, but he wasn't a part of the Bison's AAA, lineup. So let me know down below what your thoughts are on that. I mean, as it pertains to Verso, we know how important he's going to be in. For an offense that desperately needs offense, desperately needs thump, Dalton Verso is not a guy who's going to put up, a 300 average for 850 OPS. He's going to be a guy who puts up a 790 OPS, but hits 20, 25 home runs, something like that. And 790 OPS would be, really, really good, especially with the hitting being down across Major League Baseball. But he's never going to be an 850, 890 OPS guy. If Verso can hit around league average, a bit above, and give this lineup some power, give this lineup some thump, stretch it down a little bit, move Alejandro Kirk down in the lineup, move Andres Jimenez down in the lineup. We saw when they first traded for Verso a couple years ago, John Schneider had him at the cleanup spot for a while. The 2 spot, the 3 spot, they put Dalton Verso everywhere, specifically in the 4 hole, and it didn't really work. But maybe they tried that again instead of Andres Jimenez, because they're not, I don't think Jimenez should stick in the cleanup spot by any means there. And again, he was DHing on a couple days ago, but it would have been on Friday. And John Schneider has been happy with Verso's throws from center field. They'll check in the postgame and go from there. So his throws have been good. He made a diving catch the other day. And following what we saw in the last game, where George Springer and Addison Barger both had horrible jumps, a 90% catch rate. Someone had a 98% catch rate. You need Dalton Verso, and that drop for a single that led to the go-ahead run at the time for the Yankees to put him up 2-0. You need Dalton Verso back in the lineup. He elevates everybody. Get him back in there. Don't waste any more time, and I'm excited to see that. But let's dive into some of the other updates. Now, again, the Jays are having a huge doubleheader today. However, on the side for Mitch Bannon, some Blue Jays bullpen injury updates. Ryan Burr has another bullpen tomorrow. Eric Swanson pitched an extended spring today. 16 pitches, 4 outs. Felt good. We'll see how he bounces back before deciding where he pitches next. So, there's a lot to go over. So, obviously, Ryan Burr, a guy who hasn't really been talked about too much, he could easily, he would have been a part of this bullpen hadn't he got hurt, right? And for Eric Swanson, you need him back as well. Where that Nick Sandlin's on the IL right now. He's dealing with things. You have Dylan Tate up. You have Paxton Schultz up. Both guys who have been very, very good. Specifically, Paxton Schultz in his 1 game. Dylan Tate hasn't been fantastic. Of course, he gave up, the run there and in his first outing. But regardless of the first outing, right? I'm happy with the progress that's at least being made with this bullpen. But it's easy to forget at times how many players on the Blue Jays, they're waiting for a return from. Ryan Burr, if you want to include him, Max Scherzer, Eric Swanson, Dalton Verso, Nick Sandlin at this juncture. You need to get some of these guys back, and they're going to be coming back very, very soon, and that's obviously going to be a big piece of information for this team. And, begging the question about who they should call up and things like that. 'Cause again, regarding Dalton Varsho, he's coming off of a 5 B-War season with a 700 OPS. You elevate that a bit. He hit 2 home runs in spring training, 2 or 3. If you think back to that time, you need to get the boys back. Now, a few other things to go over here because it's there's been some rumblings. Now, this is a guy on Twitter. He got the last call up right. So there's been some rumblings surrounding him. He says that Jonathan Clase has been called up by the Blue Jays. Now, take it with a grain of salt. We'll see later today if that's the case. He got the last call up, Addison Barger, dead on. So you might have a source down there in Buffalo. Whether this is the 27-man taxi squad because of the doubleheader or if it's because Nathan Lucas or someone got sent down has yet to be seen. But you can see here from Chris Black, he kind of highlights that, an ideal lineup of Clase, Bichette, Guerrero, Santander, Verso. Like that lineup looks a lot better. It moves Jimenez from the 4 spot to the 9 spot. We're going to have a full video. I'll have a full video on Jonathan Clase soon. He has been absolutely electric down at AAA. And if this report is right, which we'll see later today if it is, if it isn't, fair enough. They should still be calling him up. But I just wanted to use this less as, breaking news, but more as a talking point surrounding Jonathan Clase. Well, again, we'll see. He got the Addison Barger one right a few days ago. I like the idea of having a guy like Jonathan Clase up with the team. You need to start calling up your guys. Like Barger has been playing a lot better as of lately. He's been smoking the ball. So for Addison Barger specifically, or for Jonathan Clase specifically, he gives you some speed in the bases. He gives you some versatility in the lineup that you don't really have. And when you have a full lineup, if you add one more of the AAA guys, and then you have Dalton Verso back, you're able to then move everybody down a slot. And if they find a guy they really like at leadoff, of course, it moves Bichette down to the 2-hole, Vladdy at the 3 where he's most comfortable, Santander at the 4. And then from there, you just keep going down depending on who's hot, depending on who's rolling. And let me know down below what your thoughts are on this lineup. You have Springer at the 5, Verso at the 6. The lineup looks so much better. And part of that is, of course, because you get Verso back. But another huge part of that is that not Emmanuel Clase, Jonathan Clase, or whoever else you want to throw in there from, Buffalo in general, is, he's been on fire down there at AAA. So we'll ultimately see if this comes to fruition, but it is very interesting. And we'll keep you up to date with that. And looking at just the kind of the way the team shapes out now, if they do want to send, and they will have to, send somebody down for Dalton Verso, let me know who you think it is. I think at this point, it's either Alan Roden or Nathan Lucas. I think Barger sticks around. I think Straw sticks around. They like Ernie Clement's versatility. He's the only one who can, kind of play third base at a very good level to elite level. I think it's probably Nathan Lucas. Will Wagner gives them something else. And Alan Roden hasn't been great this year. He's been good at times. He's super young. They might want to get him some more consistent reps. But at the same time, Nathan Lucas is a center fielder who's been basically playing center field. So if you had to pick between Nathan Lucas and Miles Straw, I think they're going to go Miles Straw. He's been better. He is the right-handed bat, but Verso's a lefty anyway. So there's a ton of moving pieces here. And let me know down below who you think is going to get sent down if Verso comes back today or if he comes back on Tuesday. A ton of moves are imminent. We're hearing rumblings about Jonathan Clase. It's going to get crazy. And we're going to keep you up to date every step of the way. So make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. See you later. Cheers.